So let's first start off by taking some cloves of garlic. We're going to give it a smash with our cleaver, peel off the skin, and then dicing it up. Now we're going to take half of an onion, and you're going to do the same thing, just dice it up and just give it a rough chop. You don't have to be perfect at this point. Next, we'll need a box of chopped spinach, and this usually comes frozen, so you'll need to let it sit out on the counter for a few hours until it's completely thawed out. And I also chose to put some artichoke hearts, so here I'm just going to dice it up into small pieces. And then this is just the plate of all of my toppings before we cook it up on the stove. So the great thing about making your own quiche is that you can pretty much customize the filling to whatever you want. So for me, I made the first batch to be spinach and artichoke hearts, and now I just wanted to add some spinach with mushroom filling. So you can go ahead and use whatever you want. You can add bacon, ham, or whatever. But yeah, here I'm just going to dice up some mushrooms and then add that in with my spinach filling. Next, we're going to saute our onions in some oil on medium heat just until they are translucent. And then we're going to add in our garlic and artichoke heart and our spinach, and also season it up with salt and pepper. And the total cook time is just a few minutes, probably like 5 minutes total, because most of our vegetables are already cooked. You just pretty much want to brown up your onions and your garlic, so you don't need to cook it for too long. Next, we're going to take our blocks of cheese and shred it up, and you can already buy pre-shredded cheese. I just like to buy the blocks and shred it myself because I find that it's cheaper. But I am using Swiss cheese and mozzarella cheese, and again, you can customize it to whatever cheese you want. And we are just going to put that in a bowl and mix it together. Now we are going to make the egg filling part of our quiche, and this part is where it's going to bind all of our ingredients together so our filling doesn't fall out. And in a mixing bowl, you're just going to add some milk, 4 eggs, give it a whisk, and we are just going to season it with a little bit of nutmeg and just combine it together. Now we are going to make our pastry crust, and to me the crust is always the best part. So we are going to need some unsalted butter, and you're just going to dice that up into little cubes. And then we are going to need some water and some apple cider vinegar, and you're just going to mix that in a little mixing bowl. Now we are going to use our handy dandy food processor and dump in our all-purpose flour along with our cubed butter, and I'm just going to give it a few short pulses just until it resembles like a dry cornmeal type texture and the butter is sliced into about the size of a grain of rice. Then we're going to pop off the lid and add half of our apple cider vinegar water mixture and continue pulsing it. Just a few short pulses again, and then we are going to pop off the lid again and dump in the rest of our water vinegar mixture and continue pulsing until the mixture turns into a wet sand consistency. Then you want to stop. It's going to look a little bit dry for a dough, but we are going to form that together by hand because we do not want to overmix this dough. It's very important. So just stop once the dough comes together just like that. Now we are going to dump out our dough onto our work surface. I'm just using my favorite silicone mat, and at first your dough might look a little bit crumbly and dry, but we're just going to work it with our hands and it will eventually come together into a ball of dough. Now you're going to roll out your dough into about a 1/4 inch in thickness, and using a cookie cutter or whatever you have, you're going to cut out circles the size of your mold. And so for this first batch, I am making some mini quiche, so I decided to use a mini cupcake pan as my mold. And just an FYI, I really prefer to use individual molds rather than one pan because it's much more time consuming when you have a whole pan. But I don't have any mini individual molds, so that's why I use this pan. But just an FYI. But anyways, I just used the bottom of an ice cream scoop just to kind of help me tamper down the dough and to make sure it's leveled. And then I'm just going to use my thumb, and I worked up the edges of the crust to meet the pan and pricked the bottom with a fork. Now that our spinach mixture is completely cooled down, we are going to toss in our shredded cheese and just add the filling to our mini quiche. You're going to then pour over your egg mixture, and I suggest pouring it into a measuring cup with a small spout. It just makes it way easier, so you make sure not too much filling comes out at a time. And you're just going to fill it up until the cup is completely filled, because it doesn't really rise too much in the oven, so you don't have to worry about it spilling out while cooking. Now this is the second batch that I made. For this one, this is the spinach and mushroom filling, but pretty much I'm doing the same thing. I am just rolling out the dough and using a cookie cutter the size of my mold. And now this mold might look very familiar to you. It was the same one I used in my egg tart video, but like I said, the individual mold was so much easier. And after baking my first batch, I found that the mini muffin pans were just super time consuming, and it's just so much easier to form the dough into an individual mold as well as taking it out. So it's personal preference, but the mini quiche is the traditional way you see in the stores. So yeah, if I had a hold of some mini individual tart molds, it would be so much easier for this recipe. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make some delicious quiche with me today. Please like and comment this video, and don't forget to leave a video response or comment down below telling me how you like these, because I know you will like these. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.